He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
Hello HG Tudor and Tudorites, my name is Annette Hunter and I'm talking to you from Ireland. I forget the questions, but I've got a couple of things to say. First, I think she'll do very well. She'll always do very well because there is an appetite for her type of behaviour. Reality shows like Real Housewives and Jersey Shore, they do very well because, as I say, there's an audience out there. People love to watch outrageous behaviour. The other thing I think is that she will also always be very wealthy because she will find a rich man. Sadly, some rich men love women like that. I'm worried about the royal family. I'm not worried about her. She, as a narcissist, will never stop wanting to get revenge on the royal family because they had her sussed and they didn't let her get her own way. As a narcissist, she will never, ever want to stop getting back at them. She will mostly try to shame them. She won't bring down the royal family, but she will always want to shame them and ridicule them and do outrageous things like that awful twerking video, the twerking Duchess, to make fools of them. Lastly, NPD is a sinister personality disorder. Most people with that disorder have no insight, which is what makes them so dangerous. Thankfully, HG Tudor does have insight into his condition, and that's what makes him such a wonderful tutor on the area of narcissism. So keep listening to his videos, you'll learn a lot, and God forbid you ever do come in contact with a narcissist, you'll be able to spot them and stay away from them. Thank you everybody, take care, bye bye.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Muffins from Australia, and what drives my interest? Well, I started off thinking this one's wife was a good match for Harry. He seemed to really like her very much. I was a bit curious about how she'd fit into the royal family, coming from such a different background, but I assumed that she also loved Harry and that she was prepared to make that big leap into that lifestyle. But over time, especially when it got to her pregnancy, I really began to see that something was very, very off. And since then, I've become, at times, hooked by her. Not because I admire her, but because I just can't believe the things that she does and does publicly. It's like watching someone constantly embarrass themselves and not have any awareness or shame for what they're doing for themselves. We should have some shame. I mean, it's the way that we can also be linked into empathy. She doesn't have it. There's a kind of morbid fascination that I have with her that keeps me watching. What annoys me, it really frustrates me that she gets away with the behaviour, and it's behaviour that would ruin others. You could never behave that way in pretty much any organisation. She's not clever enough to get away with that behaviour in a way that is possible. So it frustrates me that she does. She hurts people, she ruins reputations or other people's jobs, and then she just shows up smiling at an event as if she's none of it's happened. I also can't stand her constant need to be the centre of attention, and that finger that pushes or prods. She steps into the centre, throws her arms around people, and I just think, oh, I hope she's wearing deodorant. It just doesn't look good. What bothers me also is that she had such an amazing opportunity to marry into the royal family. She could have built some really powerful alliances in them and in that community, and in that way she could have achieved all her goals, and she could have done it with some apparent grace, but she just blew it, and in blowing it she's blamed everybody else for that. And so that it's a mixture of self-sabotage and all the poking and the prodding and self-aggrandizing. It's very hard to watch. What do I like? you know, she's a human being, and I guess I have that sense of compassion for her in that, but there's nothing that I like about her. If I knew her in real life, I'd avoid her, and there's no quality that she has that would draw me in real life at all. Where do I think she'll end up? I imagine one of two futures. Either she runs out of money and becomes a faded figure, still trying to stay in the spotlight to earn and hustle her way, or she ends up divorced and takes a whole shed load of money with her, clings to the media attention, maybe finds an older, richer man, ends up with so much plastic surgery that she's hardly recognisable, or she writes a tell-all book, still bending the truth and still trying to get those headlines for shock value. Really just a faded figure who's still desperately trying to take the limelight. Why I remain interested? It's like watching a slow motion train wreck. The way she keeps making the shocking missteps at the moment makes it hard to look away. But I can also feel my interest starting to definitely fade. So unless she becomes even more extreme, which hopefully she doesn't, then I'll probably stop paying attention pretty soon. She's such a waste of time. But I do hope that the truth does eventually come out, especially around the children, and that the royal family can be left in peace. What would I ask her? I would ask her why her mum was missing for a large part of her childhood, where she was. And having said that Meghan Markle, this one's wife, is such a waste of time, she's also been a huge practical example and learning opportunity of narcissism in action. And so that if anything, that's probably something I like about her. Thanks.
Hello, HG! Oh, you are so sexy. Oh, I love you, HG, and I love all you Tudorites. You know, you really are the best. This is Mary from the States. I'm gonna dive right in. What drives my interest? I worked in showbiz for years and years and years with every celebrity known to mankind, and I saw this one coming along, and I said, no, this is a BS artist. I didn't like the Rwanda duck selfies and the exploitation of people. I left the industry to be a frontline healthcare provider. I save lives every day. Nobody knows about it because I don't exploit my clients for my own gain. She drives me nuts. Alright, that answers the second question. Everything annoys me. What do I like about her? Nothing. If I could ask her one question, hey Meghan Markle, what's your favorite play that you read at Northwestern? Do you still have your syllabus? I'd like to test your knowledge about the theater. I would like for her to end up in, as Sidley twins say, Culver City. No, actually, how about River City? Because she is trouble with the capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for piss off. I'm invested because I'd like everybody I know to apologize to me for gaslighting me, telling me that I'm jealous and envious, and the media too. I'm invested because I've learned that our media is full of you-know-what. Hopefully with this twerking thing that she pulled, she'll get hers. Sorry for my foul language, everybody. She just drives me nuts. I love you all. Bye.
Hi, this is Vi across the pond on the East Coast. Why am I interested in the untalented Mrs. Griftly? We've all known narcs of various types, or we wouldn't have found our way here, and it's nice to know that they are narcs, because probably most of us went through a process where we didn't know what we were dealing with and why they were behaving the way they did, and the way nothing we did seemed to make a difference. What do I dislike most about her? I don't want her representing Americans or actors. We don't all hurl ourselves at random strangers or new acquaintances, inflicting unwarranted hugs on them, borrowing their lip gloss. And as for actors, she knows perfectly well that when you do the company bow, the lead is in the center, and that on the balcony, the monarch is always the star of the show. Everybody else is a supporting player, and yet she was always trying to elbow her way into center front. So let's see, what do I like the most? Her stubbornness. I will give her credit. She doesn't let anything discourage her. There are probably people who are far more talented who didn't get as far in life because if they had dealt with a fraction of the humiliations that she has exposed herself to, they would have wound up on the floor, curled into fetal position and whimpering helplessly. Ask her one question. All right, is there any time that you didn't have to fake it in the sack or on your knees? My impression is that since she doesn't seem to care about how they look, it's more how much power or status or money they have. It doesn't make any difference to her, and therefore I suspect that it's all the same to her, and she really doesn't feel anything, and she just puts on this big act because it's a competitive sport to her, and she wants everybody to think she's the hottest tamale in the bodega. Where would I like her to end up? Pickersgill Islands. I would like her to be made the ruler of Pickersgill Islands, and the title to be immediately and permanently rescinded the minute she takes a step off her realm. Where will she end up? She'll manage something. I think there'll always be, the Where Are They Now type stuff in People magazine or wherever. There'll be somebody who wants to pay attention to her. Invested. I think we're all somewhat invested just because if you found your way to HG Tudor, it's probably because you have survived some kind of narc abuse. And since we don't always get to see our former significant other or that coworker or that boss or that frenemy who wrecked your adolescence or whatever it is, we don't get to see them get it. It's really nice to see somebody get it. She may not literally go down in flames. Like I said, I think she'll survive. But she is circling the drain, and it's kind of fun to watch. Somebody gets what almost they deserve in the end. So hi to other Tudorites, and thank you, HG.
I'm Ro, or Rosie, from southern England, and I was born on the Isle of Wight. It's rich in royal history. I've always been interested in the royal family. I don't hate Niffy Nora, but I dislike everything she does. After my 60-odd years of seeing the royal family on engagements and visits, she's the total opposite of everything I like. Where would I like to see her end up? As I said before, Traitor's Gate, he. If not, then a good house arrest somewhere. A padded cell, maybe. My family know my interest in the royal family, and another member of my family also watches your videos and shared them and advised me to listen. You drive through the greyness. Where there might be fake news, you'll tell it as it is, and I like that. You don't waffle. You break it all down. What would I ask? How about the kids? We know she's used other people's kids as her own. We see her for what she is. I want more than anything for you to interview her on our behalf, or the RF's behalf. I know that's a wish that isn't coming. She'll, as you say, fall down an oubliette, hopefully. She's circling the drain of eternal oblivion, next door to the bog of eternal stench. I want to know if said kids are with her. Are they okay? I wish we could, as earlier noted, I could send her back to the 1970s. She'd fit right in. I watch the brothers on Talking Pictures TV and its brown walls, brown clothes, brown furniture, or beige and brown.